Power outages aren't rare anymore. They're practically seasonal. One storm hits, one transformer blows, or one hacker sneezes on the grid, and boom, your lights, heat, and comfort are gone. And it's not just hours anymore. Sometimes it's days, sometimes weeks, and every single time people say, "We weren't ready." But prepping for blackouts doesn't mean buying fancy generators or turning your house into a sci-fi bunker. It's about being smart, having small, affordable, everyday items that quietly make a huge difference when the power goes out. So in this video, I'm walking you through 10 simple things you probably overlook that can keep your lights on, your sanity intact, and your home shining like a lighthouse in the storm. These aren't luxury gadgets. These are the tools that make sure your life doesn't stop when the world goes dark. Item number 10, solar garden lights. Here's the funny thing about solar garden lights. Most people think they're just cheap lawn decorations. A little glow by the pathway, a few dotted around the flower beds, nothing special. But when the grid goes down and your house turns into a pitch black cave, those little yard lights suddenly become your most valuable indoor lighting system. Seriously, they're rechargeable, wireless, solar powered, and you can buy a dozen of them for less than the cost of one fancy flashlight. Here's how it works. During the day, you leave them outside like normal. They soak up sunlight, no different than they always do. But the moment darkness hits and your lights go out, you bring them inside. Stick one in a mason jar or glass cup and boom, instant lantern. You can set them along hallways and bathrooms or on your nightstand. No smoke, no heat, no batteries, no risk. They'll last around 8 to 10 hours on a full charge, which means they'll easily get you through the night, and when the sun rises, they recharge themselves for free. The best part? They're portable and low profile. You can move them around the house without worrying about cords or fuel. Got kids? No problem. They're cool to the touch, completely safe, and make a blackout feel less like a crisis and more like a cozy campout. You can even hang a few using binder clips or zip ties to create makeshift ceiling lights. It's simple, it's clever, and it works. Here's where smart preppers get creative. They buy solar lights with removable heads. That means you can detach the top portion, use it like a flashlight, or place it in a bottle for a more diffused glow. Some even come with USB ports now, so you can trickle charge your phone in an emergency. It's like having a dozen mini solar batteries hidden in plain sight. And here's the real kicker. When everyone else's candles are burning out or their flashlights are dying, you'll still be fully lit every single night, just because you had a few garden lights in your yard. No noise, no fuel, no worries. It's one of those, why didn't I think of that hacks that costs next to nothing but makes you feel like a genius when the lights go out. So if you take one thing from this list, let it be this. Grab some solar garden lights, stick them by your walkway today, and next blackout, bring them in. You'll thank yourself when your whole house glows like a solar fortress while everyone else is hunting for matches. Item number 9, crank flashlights, dynamo torches. If you've ever had a flashlight die on you mid-crisis, you know that gut-sinking feeling, the click, click, click of a dead battery in the middle of the dark. That's when a crank flashlight, also called a dynamo torch, feels like the most brilliant invention ever made. No batteries, no charging, no excuses, just a simple twist of your wrist and light appears out of nowhere. It's practically magic, or at least it feels like it when you're sitting in total darkness. Here's what makes them indispensable. They never run out. You crank them for 30 seconds and you get 5 to 10 minutes of bright light, enough to cook, check on the kids, or find your way to the bathroom without tripping over furniture. Crank again and you're back in business. It's infinite light, powered by you. And that little bit of control, being able to create light when everything else fails, is incredibly empowering in an emergency. Most preppers keep at least 2 or 3 of these around the house, and for good reason. They're compact, tough, and many come with built-in radios and USB charging ports. Some even double as emergency phone chargers, letting you squeeze out enough juice for 1 or 2 quick texts. Sure, you're not streaming movies, but when the grid is down, that single bar of signal might be all you need. Another underrated perk, they work in any weather. Rain, snow, wind, no problem. Unlike candles, there's no flame to blow out, and unlike battery flashlights, they don't care if you forgot to stock AAAS. They're perfect for cars, bug-out bags, or bedside drawers. And if you ever find yourself out camping or stuck in a storm, you can literally generate your own light energy on demand. So while others are digging through junk drawers praying for one last working battery, you're winding your way to brightness, one crank at a time. It's low-tech, it's foolproof, and it's one of the smartest little tools you can ever own. Keep one in every major room, stash another in your car, and you'll never fear the dark again because your light source will literally be in the palm of your hand. Item number 8, rechargeable LED bulbs plus USB base. Here's a little secret most people overlook. Your regular light bulbs can actually double as emergency lanterns if you get the right kind. Rechargeable LED bulbs are one of the smartest, most underrated blackout solutions you can buy. They look and screw in just like normal bulbs, but inside that little shell is a built-in battery that charges every time your power's on. And when the grid goes down, they keep glowing. No cords, no fumbling, no setup. They just stay on. Imagine this. The entire block goes dark, yet your living room still has light. Your neighbors are staring through the window wondering how you pulled it off, and all it took was switching your bulbs. That's the kind of quiet genius that separates casual homeowners from real preppers. You don't even have to do anything different. Just let them charge naturally while they're in use. Then, when the outage hits, take one out of its socket, screw it into a USB bulb base, or attach the little hanging hook that often comes in the box, and you've got an instant portable lantern. The best part? These things can run anywhere from 3 to 8 hours, depending on the model, and they recharge automatically when the power comes back. They're energy efficient, long-lasting, and practically maintenance-free. Plus, if you've got a solar power bank or any USB outlet, you can recharge them manually without the grid. It's like having wireless light bulbs that remember how to shine even when everything else forgets. Here's a clever trick most people don't know. Keep one plugged into a USB bulb base connected to a portable power bank. The second the lights go out, that bulb kicks in instantly, giving you light without even needing to look for it. It's a smooth transition from power on to backup on. No panic, no darkness. And for anyone who's ever tried juggling candles, flashlights, and dying phone screens, you know how comforting it feels to flip a switch and actually see the room light up again. These rechargeable LEDs give you that sense of normalcy. They make the blackout feel like a hiccup, not a disaster. Item number 7, small 12-volt LED strip kits. Now let's talk about something that feels straight out of a movie, 12-volt LED light strips. You've seen them before, maybe behind TVs or under cabinets, but what most people don't realize is that these things are blackout gold. Why? Because they sip power. You can run an entire room's worth of bright functional light off a tiny battery bank or car charger, and it barely makes a dent. Think about it. One single strip can light your kitchen, hallway, or even a whole tent with just a few watts. That's less power than your phone charger uses. Hook them up to a small 12-volt battery or even a car adapter, and you've got hours, sometimes days of consistent light without draining your backup systems. They're flexible, lightweight, and can be installed anywhere, under shelves, inside closets, around mirrors, even taped to ceilings for overhead light. And the beauty of these kits is their adaptability. Most come with adhesive backing, so you can peel and stick them wherever you need illumination. Want to light your pantry or create a path through your house at night? Done. Need to set up a workstation during a blackout? Plug it into your solar generator or power bank, and you've got instant flood lighting. Here's the fun part. You can even customize brightness. Many kits include dimmers or remote controls, meaning you can save power by turning them down when you just need a soft glow. It's all about stretching every watt you've got. And because they run on low voltage, they're incredibly safe. No risk of overheating, no messy fuel, no flickering like candles. Preppers love these because they bridge the gap between emergency lighting and everyday comfort. You're not just surviving, you're living comfortably during a blackout. A few strips in strategic spots, your hallway, bathroom, or kitchen, and your home looks almost normal even when the neighborhood's pitch black. The real trick? Pair them with a compact solar power bank or a car jump starter battery. You'll have enough energy to run those strips all night long, night after night. So while everyone else is tiptoeing with flashlights and phone screens, you'll be cooking dinner under full lights, calm and collected. It's the kind of setup that makes you feel like you've hacked the system because, in a way, you have. Item number 6, power banks with torch mode. Here's where convenience meets pure survival sense. Power banks with built-in flashlights or torch modes. You've probably got one sitting in a drawer right now, but what you might not realize is that this small gadget is one of the most versatile blackout tools you can own. It's your flashlight, your emergency charger, and your portable power station all rolled into one. When the lights go out, it's the first thing you'll reach for, and unlike a regular flashlight, it's got enough juice to keep your phone, radio, and small lights alive for hours, even days. Here's why it's genius. The torch mode isn't just a gimmick. Many high-capacity power banks have surprisingly bright LEDs that can light up a small room, serve as a reading light, or help you navigate the dark without wasting precious battery life. You can hang it up like a mini lantern, point it down hallways, or use it for signaling if you're outdoors. And the fact that it recharges your essential electronics while doing all that, that's what makes it a prepper's dream. The key here is to choose power banks that balance capacity and practicality. Something in the 20,000 to 30,000 milliamp hour range is perfect, big enough to charge multiple devices but still compact and portable. Bonus points if it's solar rechargeable or supports fast charging, because every minute counts when the grid's down. You want gear that doesn't just sit there looking fancy, you want it pulling double duty, giving you light and power without compromise. A lot of people underestimate just how crucial that torch mode becomes in real emergencies. You don't always have time to dig through bags for separate gear, you just grab what's in reach. A power bank that instantly turns into a light source means one less decision to make when stress levels spike. That's smart prepping, simplicity under pressure. And here's a neat tip. Keep one of these power banks plugged into a USB outlet at all times. It stays charged, and when the power cuts, it's immediately ready to go. Use it to charge smaller LED lights, headlamps, or even your rechargeable bulbs from earlier. It's the silent backbone of your emergency lighting network. Item number 5, portable solar panels plus USB lights. If there's one blackout combo that deserves a gold medal, it's this one. Portable solar panels paired with USB-powered lights. Simple, silent, sustainable. You're literally harvesting daylight to light your nights. These kits have become a prepper essential because they require no fuel, no noise, and almost no maintenance. Just unfold the panel, face it toward the sun, and let nature do the work. Think of it like this. Every sunny hour is free energy in your pocket. During the day, your panel charges power banks, LED bulbs, and even small fans. By night, that stored energy powers your USB lights. No generator hum, no smell of gasoline, no risk of running out. It's quiet independence, and it feels incredible once you've experienced it. Now, don't picture those massive roof-mounted panels. We're talking compact, foldable ones the size of a laptop. They slip into backpacks, hang on balconies, and can even charge while you hike. Pair them with lightweight USB LED lamps, the kind that plug directly into a power bank and you've got light anywhere, anytime. Kitchen, garage, campsite, all powered by sunlight you collected yourself. The trick to mastering this setup is rotation. During the day, charge multiple devices, power banks, rechargeable bulbs, or even small 12-volt batteries. At night, plug your USB lights directly into those charged devices. You're essentially building your own microgrid, one that doesn't care whether the city power is up or down. And here's what makes this so powerful. It scales. You can start small with a 10-watt panel and a couple of lights, or expand to a full 100-watt setup that runs your essentials indefinitely. It's flexible, modular, and incredibly reliable. Even cloudy days can generate enough power to keep your lights running, especially if you keep your panels clean and properly angled toward the sun. The best part? You're in total control. You're no longer at the mercy of utility companies or fuel deliveries. Your lights depend on the same thing that rises every morning, the sun. Item number 4, battery holders and battery organizers. Here's the thing. When the lights go out and panic hits, your fancy flashlights and battery-powered lanterns mean absolutely nothing if you can't find the batteries that make them work. And that's where this underrated hero comes in, the humble battery holder and organizer. This isn't just about storage, it's about strategy. Because when your house goes dark, time becomes your most valuable resource. You don't want to be fumbling through a junk drawer filled with half-used AAs and leaking 9 volts while your kids are holding candles like it's the 1800s. A good organizer turns chaos into calm. It tells you instantly what you have, what's charged, and what's running low. Think of it like your energy vault. A single case can hold dozens of AA, AAA, C, D, and even 9-volt batteries, neatly labeled, clearly visible, and ready to deploy. And the best part? Many of these come with built-in battery testers. You can literally press a button, check charge status, and toss the duds before they waste your time in a crisis. Because let's be honest, nothing's more frustrating than loading up a flashlight that dies the moment you turn it on. Preppers who take organization seriously know this rule by heart. You can't use what you can't find. Batteries are like your survival currency. You might not realize it now, but during an extended blackout, they're worth more than gold. They power your lights, radios, medical gear, even those tiny USB fans that keep air circulating in a sweltering summer outage. The difference between being in control and feeling helpless often comes down to how well you manage something as simple as batteries. Here's a real-world example. During major storms or grid failures, responders and preppers alike rely on labeled, waterproof battery cases. They grab them, move, and know exactly how many hours of power they have left. There's no guesswork, no wasted motion. That level of preparedness doesn't happen by accident, it happens because of foresight. So if you want to take one easy step toward blackout readiness, start here. Get a solid, impact-resistant battery holder. Label each section, track your usage, rotate your stock. Use the first in, first out method, just like you would with food storage. Older batteries get used first, newer ones go to the back. It's simple, but it keeps your power supply fresh and reliable. Item number 3, hand crank radios with LED lights. Now we're moving into what I like to call old school genius, the hand crank radio with a built-in LED light. It's one of those items people underestimate until everything else fails. Think about it. No electricity, no Wi-Fi, no cell towers. You're cut off. But that little crank radio, it bridges the gap between isolation and awareness. One handle, a few turns, and suddenly you've got light, power, and access to emergency broadcasts all in one palm-sized device. This is the kind of multi-tool every serious prepper swears by. It's rugged, compact, and doesn't need a single external power source, just your own 2 hands. That's why these radios are favorites in disaster kits from FEMA to the Red Cross. They give you immediate access to NOAA weather alerts, local emergency channels, and even AM/FM news, which means while everyone else is guessing what's happening, you're staying informed and 2 steps ahead. But the LED light built into most of these models, that's the secret bonus. A single crank not only charges the radio, it powers a bright, energy-efficient light that can run for hours. Perfect for reading maps, navigating in the dark, or setting up camp during extended outages. Some even come with USB ports so you can top off your phone or power bank in a pinch. Is it slow? Sure. But when your phone's dead and there's no grid to rely on, a few minutes of cranking beats total disconnection any day. And here's the thing, hand crank radios are timeless for a reason. They don't rely on complicated tech or fragile batteries. They're mechanical, durable, simple. You can toss one in your emergency drawer and forget about it for years. It'll still work when you pull it out. Item number 2, LED headlamps. If you've ever tried holding a flashlight in your mouth while fixing something in the dark, you already know why LED headlamps are essential. They might look like a small convenience item until the lights go out. Then suddenly, they become the single most practical piece of gear you can wear. Because when the grid fails and you've got to cook, repair, or move through your house without tripping over everything you own, hands-free lighting becomes gold. Here's what makes them so powerful. Freedom. A headlamp lets you do everything from washing dishes to changing a fuse to digging through your prep supplies, all without needing to hold or balance a flashlight. And modern LED headlamps aren't the clunky heavy ones you remember from old camping trips. They're lightweight, super bright, and rechargeable via USB, meaning they can plug right into your power bank, solar panels, or even that car inverter we'll talk about next. Let's talk practicality for a second. You're cooking on a gas stove, maybe handling candles or lanterns, trying not to spill or burn yourself. A headlamp keeps your line of sight clear. You can see exactly where your hands are, even if you're working under a sink or inside a dark closet. And if you have kids or older family members, giving each person their own headlamp turns a chaotic situation into something manageable. Suddenly, nobody's panicking or fumbling. Everyone can see what they're doing. And here's something most people don't realize. LED headlamps last for hours, even days on a single charge or a few AAA batteries. Some models have red light modes that preserve night vision or flood settings that light up entire rooms. You can hang them from hooks, use them as makeshift lanterns, or strap them to bottles for a diffused glow. In other words, they're not just for your forehead, they're flexible, adaptable lighting solutions for almost any need. Think about how many survival tasks become instantly easier with hands-free light. Setting up a tent, checking circuit breakers, cleaning up after dark, reading maps, even walking the dog during a blackout. It's one of those items that pays for itself the first time you use it in an emergency. And because they're compact, you can stash one in every major room near the bed, in the kitchen drawer, the glove box, the go bag. You don't even need to go full survivalist to appreciate this one. If the power goes out while you're cooking dinner or working on something delicate, you'll immediately understand why preppers swear by these. Item number 1, inverter plus car battery setup. Now we're ending on the ultimate off-grid power trick, turning your car into a mini power station. Sounds complicated? It's not. All you need is a simple inverter. That's the small box that converts your car battery's DC power into usable AC power, and suddenly you can plug in lights, charge laptops, even keep a small fridge running during an outage. Think of your car battery as a giant portable energy bank that's been hiding in plain sight. While everyone else is watching their phone die, you're over there charging devices, running a fan, and even powering your router if needed. It's the kind of hack that makes you feel like you're cheating the system because, in a way, you are. The grid might be down, but you've got your own mini generator sitting in your driveway. Here's how it works. Connect your inverter to the car's 12-volt socket or directly to the battery terminals, depending on your setup. Start the engine occasionally to recharge the battery, and boom, you've got steady, reliable electricity. You can run LED lights, recharge your power banks, or even brew a cup of coffee. And because inverters come in different wattages, you can scale up or down depending on what you need to power. Now, this isn't about turning your car into a full-time power plant. It's about survival flexibility. During a long blackout, small comforts make a huge difference. Maybe it's keeping your freezer cold just long enough to save your food, or having enough juice to keep your communication gear online. Your car and inverter make that possible, quietly and efficiently. The key is efficiency. You don't want to drain your car battery completely. You want to cycle it smartly. Some preppers even keep a spare deep cycle battery on a trickle charger at home, ready to swap in during emergencies. That way, you can run lights all night without even touching your vehicle's main power source. Pair that with solar panels or a small generator, and you've basically built a hybrid off-grid power system for less than most people spend on a weekend getaway. This setup represents the ultimate prepper mindset, using what you already have to stay powered, independent, and calm when everyone else is panicking. You don't need a $5,000 generator or a massive solar array to survive a blackout sometimes. All it takes is a car, an inverter, and the will to think ahead. When the grid goes down and everyone else goes dark, you won't just have light, you'll have control. These 10 simple items aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. Don't wait for the next storm, the next surge, or the next silence. Prep your glow now while you still can. So, which of these items do you already have, and which one caught you off guard? Drop it in the comments below. Hit like, share this with your prepper crew, and subscribe.